Hi, this is Roscoe with Cooking with Cyber, and this is your news for February 16th, 2024. In cyber news, California State Workers Union data breach 308 gigabytes of data, including social security numbers and other personal identifiable information, was taken by the Lockbit 3.0 ransomware group. Also, Microsoft Exchange Zero Day uh, scores a 9.1 out of 10 and takes advantage of new technology LAN manager to escalate privileges. And RansomHouse Mr. Agent malware that affects VMware. This is a direct quote from Bill Toulas from Bleeping Computers. Mr. Agent's core function is to identify the host system and turn off its firewall, and then automate the ransomware deployment process across multiple hypervisors, simultaneously compromising all managed VMs. Wow, so that's pretty serious. So if you use VMware, like I know a lot of you do, I'd be on the lookout for that. In guitar news, there's a $40,000 guitar amp. Yeah, I know, $40,000. Who's going to pay that for a brand new amp? Apparently, some people, because this thing's like a piece of furniture in your house. It's got all sorts of awesome tube amplifier technology in it. And this is a direct quote from Matt Wilson from GuitarWorld.com. Matt Owen from GuitarWorld.com. The Encore is a 2-channel amp and also offers 58 watts of power, and is said to be totally inspired by Jens Ritter's favorite amplifiers, the Fender Bassman and the Dumble Classic. So let's take a look at the video real quick here. Let's hope it loads. There it goes.
We heard this rumor that the European Union wants to ban tubes. We had the idea to create a dream of us, the final tube amp, as an encore to the tube amp culture. So for the design, on one side, I wanted to create a very futuristic looking amp, but on the other side, it should have a reference to the 50s and the 60s in terms of style and look. We have 2 channels clean. They are a little different. You can listen to each channel separate, or you can mix both channels. In the cabinet, we have a very fine, soft Jensen speaker and a very punchy, hard electro voice. It is a very fine, reduced to the max amp. After all these years of designing and building our dream amp, we heard it the first time live, and it was a really wonderful experience. At the end, we gave this amp the name Encore, as an encore for the tube amp era.
Das klingt so schön. Das klingt so schön. Super, danke. Schon auf YouTube.
All right, yeah, those guys are laughing all the way to the bank with that $40,000. Wow, $40,000. I mean, yeah, that's a really cool amp, but I don't think I could ever afford that. So hopefully, if you do, maybe you let me come over and plug in my guitar and give her a play. So yeah, moving on here. Today, with cooking, the cooking part of the show, we have sweet and sour pork. And so I used a pound of pork chops and a bottle of your favorite sweet and sour sauce, 2 ribs of celery, a half onion, half a green pepper. I chopped up some pineapples and pineapple juice. I used a pound of spaghetti, but I wish I would have had some Asian noodles for it, but I didn't. So I used spaghetti. We're lazy cooking around here. We use what we got. We incorporate leftovers, and we do things to feed the family and feed us, feed ourselves, feed our friends. So the video will be coming up shortly. Hi, this is Cooking with Cyber. I'm Roscoe, and today we're going to be making sweet and sour pork. So we have a bunch of noodles. We have some sliced onions, diced green peppers, some diced celery, a whole bunch of diced pork. We have pineapple, sweet and sour sauce, and pineapple juice. Our pan's hot and ready to go. So I'm actually going to give it about 2 seconds here. So we're going to add our oil right away to the pan since it's screaming hot and ready for us to go. Yeah, that pan is nice and hot. Maybe I'll leave it open just in case we need another dab of hot oil. We'll start out by adding our pork. I'm going to add a little seasoning salt to it, get it nice and seasoned up. I'll let that brown up a little bit in the pan. Hopefully you guys can get a good glimpse of it cooking. Got a lot of pork. I used about 4 pork chops that I chopped up. Now the heat's catching back up a little bit. It's cooling down a little bit because of all that pork going in there. Normally I'd have my fan running, but I don't want to drown out any of the action. We'll get her back steaming here in a second. I'm going to put just a touch of more oil in there because I'm going to be doing my celery and green peppers and onions here in a second. There, it's catching back up. Stuff's a little stubborn. Crank that heat again. It's a little different working with the cooktop versus a gas. I'm used to that in the restaurant, but it just takes a little bit longer. It's not too bad. I'm going to start adding my vegetables because they're going to take a little bit anyway. Add my green peppers. Stubborn pieces of pork that just won't break up. Hopefully you guys can see all this beautiful food cooking in progress. I got her cranked up to high so that it'll cook rather quick. Add my celery. It'll probably take 2 to 3 minutes to cook all these vegetables, and then I'll add the pineapple and the juice and then toss in the pasta. Hopefully this can catch up. Sometimes I cook the vegetables first when I got a steaming hot pan, but there's a lot of pork this time, and sometimes when you're cooking the vegetables first, it ends up being burnt before you get your pork cooked. So I wanted to make sure the pork was all cooked all the way through. And oh, we got a few strays here. Add our sliced onions to the mix. So in yesterday's video, I talked about my journey in cybersecurity, and one thing that I forgot to mention was my 2 certs that I got. I have 2 CompTIA certs. One is Security Plus, and the other one is a Pen Test Plus certificate. And I got those in the summer of 22. Everything's starting to cook up real nice. Juice is boiled off a little bit. Break up those onions a little bit. My son Axel's doing a wonderful job with the camera. He did a wonderful job yesterday. He's doing a killer job today. So we got the family helping out in the basement, taking care of our new puppies, so he's not freaking out from all the food. Right on. So I'm going to add my pineapple. That'll cool the pan down a little bit. Just let that cook a little bit. Maybe I can even turn her down just a notch. Gonna add a little bit of the garlic salt. Usually I'm using Lawry's garlic salt because I love that. But this stuff's not bad. Got a lot of smoke going because steam and smoke going in the face because that fan's not going. Right on. Oh, we're almost time to add the sweet and sour, so I'm going to pop that in there. That in there if possible. Adds a nice base layer. I actually had a little bit left in the jar. Get that going in there. There we go. Goes to a sink. Stuff's almost ready. Add the noodles. Here's the pineapple juice. Gonna cool the pan down a little bit, but we'll be fine. So the pineapples actually, we got them in a jar with coconut water from Sam's Club. It was a really nice deal. We usually get that, and it goes great with a lot of things, or just to have as a snack. Warm up a bit, sizzle and cook down maybe for about a minute or 2 before I add those noodles, and that'll help cook down the vegetables a little bit more. And that sauce will cook up, and the water will evaporate, and it'll cook down a little bit. And then we'll add our noodles here in a second. shot of that. I know there's a lot of steam, but the pork will cook down a little bit too, and it'll be nice and tender. Nice and tender. And so after I add these, I'll probably have to turn the heat down a little bit and then let it cook for just about a minute. Maybe I'll add about half of it first and stir it up. And then I'll toss it up. Then I'll add the second half. And then I'll kill the heat and it should thicken up, and then it'll be ready to serve. Yep. Put the rest in. We got little splashies going on. Not a big deal. Got noodles enough for everybody. Everybody's got enough pork, vegetables, and pineapple. Nice toss going on. There we go. There's a nice toss. I'll let it go for about a minute. Clean up my mess, and that is cooking with Cyber. Here are the links to the sources. I'll be putting those in the description of the video, so you guys can research on your own and take a look at the videos for yourself. And thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much. Thanks for supporting the channel. All right, we'll see you next time.